That's another project we're working on with Emerson Climate is a product called Sensi Predict. That's launching out. In fact, we're going down to see Brian Orr at the end of this month. We're rolling that product out with Emerson. And Sensi Predict is a predictive maintenance tool. So it's a set of leave-behind sensors. It's 10 sensors, mounts on your furnace or your air conditioner. It measures liquid line temp, suction line temp, return air conditions, supply air conditions, air handler volts and amps, and condenser volts and amps, and outdoor air temperature. And basically, it takes a set of 10 sensors, and what it's looking for is a change in operation. So MeasureQuick is used to benchmark the system initially. So we provide that benchmark to Emerson, and then they monitor off of our benchmark to look for changes in operation. So if the power factor starts to go bad, they can tell if a cap's going to go. Before it even fails, they can tell the cap's going to go. Or if the filter needs changed because the temperature drop's starting to go crazy, or if the suction line temperature is getting warm and you're starting to lose refrigerant charge. And they can track down probably 100, 150 problems with Sensi Predict. And the idea behind this is you quit going out 2 times a year to your customer. You go out 1 time a year. Then the rest of the time, it's monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by Emerson. And then they send you a text as a contractor and a homeowner alert that says your system needs service, your contractor's been contacted, and then the contractor can reach out and call the homeowner, schedule service. But what's cool is if it's something like a capacitor failing in the outdoor unit, you can literally just send the guy out with a cap in the outdoor unit, build a customer, and the customer doesn't even have to be home, right? Because you know exactly what's going on and what's wrong. And then you test the system again with MeasureQuick when you leave to make sure it's still meeting all the benchmark requirements. So that's one of our bigger projects we've been working on. There's a ton of stuff, you know, we don't talk about all the time until it's rolling out. You know, we've got a lot of different projects going with different clients, and those are the ones that are really fun to measure quick. And the rest of it, you know, say is always going to be free. Well, yeah, as long as we can. And that's how we're funding it, is through a lot of it's other sources, like, you know, some of the work we're doing with Emerson and some of the work we're doing with utility clients and things like that. And because otherwise you couldn't, literally millions of dollars in software development, we couldn't just give it away for free like we're doing.
So that's amazing. I mean, the technology and where we're heading. I see this being a cool step that we'll get some time to take advantage of. And then down the road, at some point, the equipment begins getting manufactured with that technology in it and sending out alerts to something similar. I could see that way down the road. Right now, it'd be cost prohibitive to do for the manufacturers. Wouldn't consider something like that, considering they're trying to do the opposite and make everything as cheap as possible for manufacturing process. But someday, a little bit after that, is when the robot techs will be developed.
Yeah, I don't see it changing anytime soon. We won't need a technician because sensors fail. You've been in commercial industrial work, you know.
Right.
You and I both have changed out our fair share of thermistors on equipment because the thermistor went bad and it's calling something, you know, saying something wrong. It's not. Pressure transducers, they're only set up for millions of cycles, you know, and you think about equipment running 24 hours, 7 days a week, they're going to go bad. You know, CO sensors go bad. Your furnace, if your furnace was a car, it would operate, it would drive about 100,000 miles per year. Think about how many hours your car operates versus how many hours your furnace operates. Your furnace is running 1,000 hours a year, right? If you did 1,000 hours at 60 miles an hour, right, Zach? Come on, you're good at math. How many miles is that, Zach?
Say it again. Hold on a second. 1,000
hours at 60 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour. That's gonna be
60,000.
That's what I said, by the way. I said 60,000.
60,000 miles a year you'd be putting on your car. Your furnace runs a lot, you know. And then you think about that blower. Now that's just 1,000 hours for the heating season, right, in Ohio. And then you got another 1,000 hours for cooling season. So, you know, you're talking about 120,000 miles a year you're putting on the blower on your furnace. So the stuff it's amazing it lasts as long as it does because it really is run hard and poorly maintained most of the time.
Right.
I thought you were going to say put up wet. I really did think you were going to say that.
Yeah, usually, it runs constantly. It's usually an improper application in the first place, and then it's poorly maintained. That's the extra step, the application part. So,
all right, Jim, I want to go back because the information you just gave us about that monitoring system, that's brand new to me, from you guys at least. But I know I saw some other monitoring systems coming out of AHR, and I know previously I similar products. Do you know about those products, the ones at AHR that were released? I won't go into who released it, but you know them very well. Do you know how yours is going to be different than that product?
Oh, it'll work. Yeah. So
Fair enough.
Functional. Got it.
Yep.
Is it a similar sort of field? Is it going to be some competition in that field, or is it something where you guys are doing something different?
No, there's really no competition in that field, Zach. So,
I had to ask.
You got to remember the important thing too, Zach. It's just like when, if you remember Jim talking with Brian a year or two ago about manifolds, you worded it like a catchphrase, and I remember I liked that, but I just don't remember what it was. You said something like they put marketing over functionality, or what was it? You were referring. We were talking about micron gauges in the manifold itself. And you said you think we got away from it. Jim, I'm asking Jim. It was the idea that that was more of a
marketing team. Products designed by the marketing team.
And that happens when you've got companies or brands that just put the best marketing or sales minds on the team, and they don't have people that love the industry. So that really does make a difference. Maybe not in boardrooms short term, but long game, I think that's always going to be the winner.
You mean like putting what some technicians are asking for over what's maybe correct? Is that what we're saying here?
Well, yeah, like what we were asking about HR, and he indicated that some of them aren't working, and I could see that. I could see a company with tons of money to be able to take a quick look at the industry, see what might be on the horizon for the next big thing, throw a shit ton of money at it, not really put the time into seeing though if it works right, if it's the right application right now, does it really benefit the industry, or is it just flashy? Versus someone like Jim going to work with it and
I don't know how many AHRs you've been to, Zach, but it's amazing. Every time we go, we see something knocked off by one company or another. It's the tech. Everybody's always watching what everybody's doing, and they're trying to knock it off. And a lot of times they're poor quality knockoffs because they just don't have the fundamentals and the science down, on how this stuff actually works, or they don't have any passion for the industry. There's a lot of people that are out to make profit over having passion for the industry, and profit's a byproduct of what we do, not the reason that we go to work every day. I mean, I don't go to work every single day thinking, wow, how much money I'm going to make today. I'm like always going to work figuring out, how can I communicate better, how to get these jobs done right? How can we communicate better and MeasureQuick what SEER is or what EER is, or how can we communicate better how to get an evacuation done right, or how can we communicate better that the vacuum pumps people are using to get a bigger pump's not going to help. And I've been constantly out there. I mean, that's why we work with Testo, why we work with Navac, why we work with AccuTools, why we work with Fieldpiece. I've demoed a ton of different products over the years and just showed how things work because we like education. We like teaching people about how things work. That's a little difference between MeasureQuick and anybody else you see out there. I mean, we're making an investment in our industry to make it better in the future. It may sound like a grandiose thing, but it's the way I've always been. It's just any money we've made has just been a byproduct of that.
If you would like to support HVAC Shop Talk, please go to subscribestar.com/Zach-Ciota.